1986 Topps Baseball Cards, 25 Most Valuable, plus bonus listings. When 1986 Topps Baseball Cards first hit store shelves that spring, expectations were sky high on the heels of the 1985 set that was jam-packed with high-profile rookies. And although the set fell flat in terms of stellar first-year cards, it still holds collectors' interest all these years later. It doesn't hurt any that the 1986 Topps Traded set featured a couple of hobby heavyweights that continue to spark imaginations today. With that in mind, here's the rundown of the most valuable 1986 Topps baseball cards, plus the most valuable 1986 Topps Traded cards, plus a few bonus listings. All is determined by actual selling prices for cards graded in PSA 9. Number 25. 1986 Topps Dale Murphy number 600. Although he was a couple of years removed from his 2 MVP awards, Dale Murphy remained among the most popular players in the game as 1986 dawned. After all, he won home run titles in both 1984 and 1985, and he was headed straight for the Hall of Fame. As things turned out, of course, Murphy only had a couple of truly outstanding seasons in him before a steep decline phase sapped his career totals. Still, the die was cast as far as collectors were concerned, and Murphy's card, including this classic kneeling pose, still sell well today. Value $10 to $15. Number 24. 1986 Topps Tom Seaver, number 390. Seaver ended up on the north side thanks to the Mets leaving him unprotected in the 1984 free agent compensation draft, and he used that new start to post 2 winning seasons after 2 losing ones with the Reds and the Mets. No matter, really, since Seaver was already a legend by then. And yeah, he still looks sort of old in a White Sox uniform, but it's better than the mess we'll find in the Topps Traded issue late that fall. Value $10 to $20. Number 23. 1986 Topps Carlton Fisk number 290. At nearly 40 years old, Carlton Fisk should have been about finished when his 1986 Topps card hit store shelves, but he just kept on chugging into the early 1990s. Fisk's amazing Hall of Fame career keeps him popular among collectors today, and this card features Pudge in a classic shot, chugging out of the batter's box. Value $15 to $20. Number 22. 1986 Topps Wade Boggs number 510. Wade Boggs followed up his amazing 1983 batting crown breakout of 361 with a more mortal 325 batting average in 1984. For anyone who thought that opposing pitchers had discovered kryptonite in their rosin bags, though, let me tell you, Super Boggs returned in full force in 1985 to the tune of a major league leading 240 hits and a 368 batting average. Even a hobby built on the long ball couldn't ignore that sort of prowess at the plate, and Boggs started to creep back up on hot lists. By the spring of 1986, his Topps and Fleer and Donruss cards were a premium pull. Still is. Value $15 to $20. Number 21. 1986 Topps George Brett number 300. At 32, George Brett managed to stay on the field for 155 games in 1985, the most he had logged since 1976, nearly a decade earlier. But Brett didn't just merely play. He hit a career-high 30 home runs, drove in 112 runs, and batted a robust .335, helping the Royals to another division crown, an American League pennant, and the first World Series title ever. Coupled with a booming hobby, Brett's rebound to health and superstardom pushed his cards forward and made all his 1986 issues must-have for collectors. We still love Mullet and his cardboard even all these years later. Value $15 to $20. Number 20. 1986 Topps Ozzie Smith number 730. Ozzie Smith was already generally acknowledged as the greatest defensive shortstop of all time when this card was issued, but his lack of offensive firepower limited his hobby appeal. A little more swagger at the plate and a run at 2,500 hits, and of course, enough gold gloves to field a couple of teams over the later half of his career helped boost the Oz's profile among collectors, and his cards are as popular as ever these days. Value $15 to $20. Number 19. 1986 Topps Cecil Fielder rookie card number 386. With 4 big power seasons in the minors and a cup of coffee with the Blue Jays under his belt, Cecil Fielder was enough of a prospect entering the 1986 season to garner rookie cards in all 3 major sets, Donruss, Fleer, and Topps. With Toronto on a winning track and Willie Upshot entrenched in first base, Fielder's major league career was going nowhere fast. So after the 1988 season, Fielder took his talents to Japan, where he turned in a Ruthian season and caught the eye again of American teams. After signing with the Detroit Tigers for 1990, all Fielder did was unleash the first 50-homer season since George Foster's 1977 MVP showing for the Reds, and sent collectors scrambling to retrieve his rookie cards from the common bins. They never went back. Value $15 to $20. Number 18. 1986 Topps Ryne Sandberg, number 690. Ryne Sandberg's fourth Topps card captures the Cubs legend in a full-on smile. You can generally capture that sunshine ungraded for around $1, but a solid PSA 9 will cost you a good hunk more. Value $15 to $25. Number 17. 1986 Topps Reggie Jackson, number 700. Reggie Jackson was nearing the end of the line when his 1986 Topps card was issued, but he still looks like he could smack the cover off a baseball anytime he wanted to. This late career gem is a must-have for serious 80s collectors. Value $15 to $25. Number 16. 1986 Topps Pete Rose Record Breaker, number 206. There was no bigger baseball story for most of 1985 than Pete Rose's final run to the all-time record for hits. It all came to a rushing emotional conclusion when he singled off Eric Show of the Padres on September 11th, and Topps commemorated the event the next spring with card number 206. So yes, this card was super popular right out of the pack, and the resultant years and scandals have done little to tarnish its appeal. Value $15 to $25. Number 15. 1986 Topps Roger Clemens, number 661. Nobody was clamoring much for any Roger Clemens baseball cards at the start of the 1986 season. All that changed after an amazing summer that saw the Red Sox right-hander rip off a 14-0 start en route to a 24-4 record, 20 strikeouts in a game, and his first American League Cy Young Award. Oh, and the American League MVP award that forever anointed him the Rocket, and a collector favorite. Value $20 to $25. Number 14. 1986 Topps Kirby Puckett, number 329. Puckett established himself as the Twins' everyday center fielder in 1984 and solidified that standing with a .288 average, 21 steals, and plus defense in 1985. None of that really resonated with collectors, though, but his .328 average and 31 home runs in 1986 sure did. In an instant, maybe it was a season, Puckett went from potential and a small fan base to baseball fire and a national audience. Things only got better in 1987, and Puckett and his cards never looked back. Value $20 to $25. Number 13. 1986 Topps Dwight Gooden, number 250. Was there a more scorching player in the game and the hobby entering 1986 than Dwight Gooden? Maybe, but if there was, his name was Don Mattingly. Otherwise, Gooden's ridiculous 24-4, 1.53 ERA, 268 strikeout, 1985 encore to his 1984 Rookie of the Year showing not only landed him a Cy Young Award, but it also made him hobby royalty at a mere 21 years old, entering the new season. Dr. K continued to mesmerize batters and collectors as the Mets won the 1986 World Series, and even though personal issues left him short of the Cooperstown plaque we all imagined for him, his early cards like this one are still plenty popular. Value $20 to $25. Number 12. 1986 Topps Rod Carew, number 400. Rod Carew hit .280 for the California Angels during the 1985 season, a mark that was sort of mundane by his standards and lost in the glare of young superstars of the day. But his 124 hits pushed him over the 3,000 for his career and assured that his 1986 cards would hold some special meaning, marking the milestone as they did. What we didn't know as the new season dawned, though, was that this crisp Topps issue would quickly become an unusual tribute when Carew announced his retirement in June of 1986 without ever taking the diamond as a player again. And so, despite Topps' best effort to avoid such finales, their 1986 Topps Rod Carew card stands as a sterling career capper for a man who could hit the ball like few in the history of the game. Value $20 to $25. Number 11. 1986 Topps Darryl Strawberry, number 80. Strawberry burst onto the baseball scene in 1983 to capture the National League Rookie of the Year award on the strength of 26 home runs in just 122 games and at the tender age of 21. His 1983 Topps Traded issue was one of the most anticipated cards of the 1980s, and Straw built on the excitement with another excellent season over more games in 1984. Injuries limited him to just 111 games in 1985, but Strawberry nonetheless cranked a then career best 29 long balls, helping keep him on the upward trajectory and making his 1986 Topps card an excellent grab. He played more in 1986 with 136 games, but his power softened a bit, 26 dingers, none of which really mattered when the Mets won the classic World Series matchup with the Red Sox. Big rebound campaigns in both 1987 and 1988 kept Strawberry perking on hobby hot lists, and his early cardboard still draws plenty of attention all these years later, despite the problems that curtailed what everyone thought would be a Hall of Fame career. Value $20 to $25. Number 10. 1986 Topps Cal Ripken Jr. number 340. Ripken was already a superstar among superstars when the 1986 baseball cards debuted. And even the second straight down season, by his standards, that summer couldn't dim his star. Neither could a further spiral the next few seasons, though Cal did lose a bit of the limelight to a crop of young sluggers before putting together a monster 1991. That's all ancient history now, though, and this 1986 Top Standard is a classic early career card of the Orioles legend who chased down Lou Gehrig and his consecutive games played streak. Value $20 to $30. Number 9. 1986 Topps Rickey Henderson, number 500. Rickey Henderson was near his peak with the New York Yankees in the mid-1980s, and this was his first Topps card with the Bombers. It's a great-looking piece of cardboard that continues to capture collectors' imaginations. Value $25 to $35. Number 8. 1986 Topps Tony Gwynn, number 10. By 1986, Tony Gwynn was in a perennial battle with Wade Boggs for the title of the best pure hitter in the game. Gwynn eventually ended up with a 10-point advantage in career average, 333 to 328, not to mention 8 batting titles to Boggs' 5, and a forever home among the hobby's most beloved figures. Value $25 to $35. Number 7. 1986 Topps Pete Rose, manager, number 741. After breaking Ty Cobb's record for career hits in 1985, Pete Rose had about half a season left in him as a player. But by then, Rose had also built himself into a fiery and mostly respected manager of the Reds and given collectors a whole new way to partake in Charlie Hustle's cardboard splendor. Even after his downfall a few years later, and especially now with decades of perspective, Rose and his cards are as popular as ever. Value $25 to $35. Number 6. 1986 Topps Mike Schmidt, number 200. Mike Schmidt won MVP awards for the Phillies in 1980 and 1981, then lost out on the hardware to Dale Murphy and 4 others after another fine showing in 1982. Schmidt won home run titles the next 2 seasons before sort of becoming the forgotten old man in 1985, slipping to 277, 33 home runs, 93 RBI, while spending most of his time at first base. All that made his cards feel like something of a tribute entering the 1986 season. What was Schmidt staring down 37 in the eyes? He is a September baby. The man himself had other ideas, though, batting .290 with 37 home runs and 119 RBI, both counting stats good enough to lead the National League, and the whole ball of wax good enough to land the future Hall of Famer his 3rd MVP award. Value $30 to $35. Number 5. 1986 Topps Len Dykstra, rookie card, number 53. Scrappy Lenny Dykstra was one of the heroes of the amazing 1986 New York Mets team that won an unforgettable World Series against the Boston Red Sox, and he brought his tough-as-nails game to a whole new fan base with the Phillies in the early 1990s. Though Dykstra's career petered out and he's run into plenty of off-field problems, his rookie card maintains enough popularity to crash this list. Value $30 to $45. Number 4. 1986 Topps Eric Davis, number 28. Eric Davis had all the talent in the world, but had trouble staying on the field due to his fragile physique. Still, he made enough of an impact during his first few years and sustained his performance well enough for many years for his second-year card to continue drawing hobby dollars even today. Value $35 to $45. Number 3. 1986 Topps Don Mattingly, number 180. In 1986, Don Mattingly was considered by many, maybe most observers, to be the best all-around player in the game. A bad back snuffed out his promise of what looked like a surefire Hall of Fame career, but Donnie Baseball is still popular in the hobby today, and so is this gorgeous third-year Mattingly. Value $35 to $45. Number 2. 1986 Topps Nolan Ryan number 100. As Nolan Ryan cards go, this one is not very exciting, but it's still a 35-plus-year-old card of the Ryan Express. Expect to pay near the top of this set price scale for this Ryan in nice condition. Value $40 to $45. Number 1. 1986 Topps Pete Rose, number 1. When this card was issued, Pete Rose was just a few months removed from having become the all-time hits leader, surpassing Ty Cobb's long-standing mark of 4,191, since amended to 4,090. Topps honored the hit king with card number 1 in their 1986 set, and this pasteboard, it's still exciting all these years later. Betting scandal or not. Value $40 to $50. Wait, honorable mention cards are next. Not every card that makes waves with collectors is a high roller in terms of selling prices years down the line. But if you were around in the hobby in 1986, you no doubt remember how special these cards were and are. Number 6. 1986 Topps Pete Rose Special, number 2. After Rose broke Ty Cobb's record, Topps decided to squeeze the Charlie Hustle berry for all it was worth. So we got a Pete's base card, a record breaker card, a manager card, and a run of 6 cards that showed all of Pete's base cards from previous Topps issues in miniature form. This one started it all off with Rose's 1963 Topps rookie card, plus his 1964 through 66 issues. Value $10 to $20. Number 5. 1986 Topps Pete Rose Special, number 3. This one continued the Rose tribute, showcasing the Topps cards from 1967 through 1970. Value $10 to $20. Number 4. 1986 Topps Pete Rose Special, number 4. The next entry in the Rose Parade, taking us from 1971 through 1974 Topps issues. Value $10 to $20. Number 3. 1986 Topps Pete Rose Special, number 5. Here we see a maturing Rose, as he was featured in Topps cards from 1975 through 1978, covering the heart of the Big Red Machine years. Value $10 to $20. Number 2. 1986 Topps Pete Rose Special, number 6. More Rose tribute unfolded here, covering his last cards from his first stint with the Reds, 1979, and his first 3 Phillies base cards from 1980 through 1982. Value $10 to $20. Number 1. 1986 Topps Pete Rose Special, number 7. This final Rose tribute card showcases his 1983 through 1985 Topps cards, covering his transition back to the Reds. As a sort of bonus, the first slot here, in the upper left-hand corner, shows Rose gazing upwards towards a sort of ghostly version of Ty Cobb at the bat. Value $10 to $20. Wait! 1986 Topps Traded is up next. So even though the 1986 Topps base set turned out to be a bit of a wasteland for rookie cards, the old gum company sort of made up for that fall. And among the great first-year cardboard unleashed in 1986 Topps Traded, there was also one terrible, awful, and fully necessary and indispensable legend sighting. Here, have a gander. Number 5. 1986 Topps Traded Tom Seaver, number 101T. After a so-so start with the White Sox in 1986, Seaver found himself in the Red Sox rotation with young gun Roger Clemens after a June trade that sent Steve Lyons to Chicago. And while Seavers would eventually hang up his spikes before pitching in the bigs in 1987, no one knew that as of the 1986 season. As a consequence, Seaver got both a career capper in the 1987 Topps set and this airbrushed beast the fall before in the 1986 Topps Traded. It's ugly and awful, but it's a historic hunk of Seaver cardboard. Value $10 to $15. Number 4. 1986 Topps Traded Jose Canseco rookie card, number 20T. Canseco entered 1986 with a lot of hype surrounding him, then almost lost the summer to California Angels startup Wally Joyner. Wally World cooled off after his torrid start, though, while Jose kept plugging along, eventually winning the American League Rookie of the Year award on the strength of 33 home runs, 117 RBI, and 15 stolen bases. Of course, collectors were chasing Canseco's Donruss and Fleer rookie cards in wax and cello and rack packs all season long, but we had to wait until the fall for Topps to get their Bash Brothers game together. Generally speaking, this card was worth the wait, even if Canseco fell short of the Hall of Fame. Value $15 to $25. Number 3. 1986 Topps Traded Will Clark Rookie Card, number 24T. Dubbed the Natural as a nod towards his sweet left-hand swing and no-nonsense, hard-nosed approach to the game, Will Clark became an almost instant, if sometimes polarizing, fan favorite. And even though his final seasonal numbers were hardly ever of the eye-popping variety, Clark gained a foothold with collectors through his old-school consistency and later in his strong anti-steroid stance. His 1986 Topps Traded Rookie is a hobby classic that still sees strong sales today. Value $15 to $25. Number 2. 1986 Topps Traded Bo Jackson Rookie Card, number 50T. In contrast to Barry Bonds, who took a while to gain hobby favor, Bo Jackson was a phenom even before he hit the major leagues, and his 1986 Top Traded card was hot right away. More than 35 years later, it maintains collector appeal despite Jackson's career being cut short by an injury. Value $35 to $45. Number 1. 1986 Topps Traded Barry Bonds Rookie Card, number 11T. Bonds was an all-around threat when he debuted with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the mid-1980s, but his moderate power stroke tempered his card values for several years. By the time he was winning MVP awards in the 1990s, though, and especially when he was smashing home run marks in the 2000s, his rookie cards were as hard as anyone's. This Topps Traded card was near the top of that leaderboard, and it's still a gem of all Topps cards issued in 1986, or at least fighting hard for that title. Value $40 to $50. WaxPackGods.com